Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and Happy New Year everybody. We do hope that you had a wonderful time over the festive period and we are back for some more action on the table. We've got myself versus Ned today and we have Assault at the Satellite Array for you. So let's quickly run down those lists for you. So I am running Scum today. I've got Bossk in the YV666 with Composure, Cluster Missiles, 000, BT1 and Deadman switch. Ketsu Onyo in the Shadowcaster with Fearless, Contraband Cybernetics, Deadman switch, Mandalorian Optics and the Shadowcaster title. We've got Bane in the Rogue with Marksmanship, Proton Cannons, Contraband Cybernetics and Engine Upgrade. And rounding out the list we have Lumb with Marksmanship, Proton Cannons and Engine Upgrade. Ned is back to his classic Empire side again, including, as you'll see occasionally, he is sporting his famous Empire hat. He's running Darth Vader in the TIE Advance with Brilliant Evasion, Debris Gambit, Pattern Analyzer and Fire Control System. We've got Merrick Steele also in the TIE Advance with Fire Control System and Proton Rockets. Lieutenant Sai in the Lambda-class Shuttle. We've got the Barrier of the Empire in the TIE Advance X1 with Lone Wolf and Fire Control System. And rounding out the list, we have Alpha Squadron Pilot in the TIE Advance. Sorry, TIE Interceptor. Can't believe I got that wrong. One of my favourite ships, so great to see it on there, even if it is a little I1 who is going to be good for getting those sneaky final shots and getting right in people's way. So as I said, Assault of the Satellite Array, this one, so it's all about getting in the right positions, taking some ships out and having more ships closer to those targets. Obviously a little bit of an advantage on my side. I've got two large base ships compared to Ned's one, but it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, as most of mine is down the bottom half with just one ship facing them off, and Bossk has pretty much everyone else to go up against, so that's going to be quite a tricky matchup there. But it is great to see some ships that we don't normally see on the board. The Lambda making an appearance again. Love that ship. Absolutely brilliant. Love the little Empire logo that Ned has got on that top fin there as well. And again, see the Shadowcaster and the YV666. Didn't really see much play with those before, but it's great to have them back on the table. Big fans of both those ships. In fact, one of our, I think it might have even been the first video we had on the channel, actually had the Shadowcaster on it, with Quinn flying that whilst I was flying my K-Wings back in the day. So great to see it on the board. Such a cool ship, really cool mechanics on there. So it'll be interesting to see how these ships all fare up against each other. Now, we obviously mentioned the Shadowcaster a moment ago and some of the cool stuff that it can do. So, firstly, we've got Ketsu Onyo's ability at the start of the engagement phase. You may choose one ship in both your forward and turret arc at range 0 to 1. If you do, it gains 1 tractor token. That's going to be particularly handy for me here, because whilst the Empire isn't known for having a lot of shields, they do tend to have a lot of green dice. Anything I can do to nullify some of those green dice are going to be really handy. And obviously as well, you've got the Shadowcaster title. So after you perform an attack that hits, if the defender is in your turret arc and your forward arc, the defender gains 1 tractor token. So might already have that tractor on there, might not, so could be good to add that on, especially with Ketsu being an I5. If the tractor token isn't on there for some reason and I manage to get it on there afterwards, it's going to be really nice for those lower initiative ships to have a reduced agility to come up against. And with the Mandalorian Optics, going to be able to spend one of my charges to get a lock in the system phase. Action economy there is fantastic. And as you know, if you can be as economical with your actions and get as many in there, that is definitely going to give you an advantage. So getting that lock in the system phase, then having the focus, ideally having that ship still in your arc is going to be handy, but double modded is always what we like to see. And looks like Merrick and Vader are just moving up the board to try and catch Bossk out. A lot of health on that ship, but only one evade dice. And Merrick is going to be really looking to try and take advantage of his ability there. Basically, drawing 3 damage cards, choosing one, and that's the face-up crit that you get instead. So that can be really, really powerful. That works really nicely, obviously, with advanced targeting computer, allowing you to change your hit into a crit when you're doing a primary attack. Obviously, doesn't help with prockets, but you'd like to think that with those prockets, you're going to get some crits in there anyway when you're rolling 5 dice. We talk about action economy. We've obviously got Lieutenant Sai in there, who is going to be a bit of a nuisance for me. So after you perform a coordinate action, if the ship you chose performed action on your action bar, you may perform that action as well. So that is going to be quite fun there as well. Now, when we flew this, we did have the ST321 title on there as well. So that is something that's worth noting. This was before that was taken off there. So the ST321, while you fully, let's bring that up. After you perform a coordinate action, you may choose an enemy ship in range 0 to 3 of the ship you coordinated. If you do, acquire a lock on that enemy ship, ignoring range restrictions. So a very, very nice combo there. But we do have our first shots, and it looks like it's just a hit crit down onto the Baron, but plenty of evades there to get around that. Now, unfortunately, our dice cam wasn't working for some reason, so the dice will be rolled on the table this time, so do apologise about that. We know it is really nice to be able to see them up close and personal, so we can actually really see what those results are, but we will try and keep on top of everything as we are going along. But so far, no damage exchanged, just checking to see. And let's have a quick look. So the rogues are going to be going into the Alpha Squadron. Just obviously talking to Ned there about Lumb's ability, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So at the start of the engagement phase, you may choose one enemy ship in your forward arc. If you do, treat your initiative as equal to that ship until the end of the round, which is always quite fun. So an I1 that goes, hi Vader, I'm going to be I6 as well then, please. And the great thing is you don't actually have to continue targeting that ship either. You can just turn yourself into the initiative of any ship in your forward arc and then shoot a different ship. So it's not like you're saying, all right, we're going to have simultaneous here. It's like, Vader's there. I'm definitely going to pick myself as an I6 and then shoot the Alpha Squadron. Ooh, good roll there for Ned. One shield off Ketsu there from the Baron. And here goes Nominal. I'm trying to see if we can get through the remaining green tokens there. No, but he does strip the green tokens, so that is going to help when Alpha has a shot back. Now just debating, does he go for CAD or NOM? CAD's obviously got the focus, but it's going to be range 3 regardless. Just the one hit. And that looks like it was going into CAD Bane there. So who needs focuses when you're rolling blanks? So a good little exchange there on turn 1. Ned definitely got the better of that, getting some shields off of my ships, but we're going to get up close and personal and see if I can get those bullseyes online for some Proton Cannon shenanigans. I do absolutely love the rogue combination with Proton Cannons, Marksmanship, and the Dead to Rights ability of saying, green tokens, what green tokens? You cannot spend them whilst I have you in the bullseye arc. It is ridiculously powerful. Especially if you've got a ship like the Alpha Squadron or an A-Wing that likes to get tokened up and you can just say, nope, not today, thank you. And Alpha Squadron deciding probably does not want to be a part of that party. It does have the sensitive controls on the Alpha Squadron, so you'll see some system phase repositioning in there. I'm still not sure about system phase reposition with a tie-in scepter. It's cool, but I think I still prefer the double reposition in the activation phase. That tends to be how I prefer to run it, but again, system phase repositioning can be really nice, especially if you have some upgrades that can really benefit from that, like trick shot, get yourself behind an obstacle and use that. But I always find if I try and do that, I end up just trying to play for it, and it doesn't always happen for me, which is a bit of a shame. But let's see. Fully tokened up there, so using the coordinate from side to give Alpha Squadron the evade. Then I said, here comes the ST321 title. Getting the target lock there for Psy. That probably would have been better if Ned had gone the other way and evaded with the Alpha Squadron, then use Psy's coordinate to then give Psy a focus token as well. That'd be a double modded shot. Ooh. Someone's going for the block there. Ooh, misjudged that with Bossk, and he will be ionized there. So advantage, get rid of all those locks that I've just gained, but Still not going to be ideal, as can't shoot. Nice range 1 potentially there from Alpha Squadron, or the bullseye onto Psy with the Proton Cannon is also active there, and probably the tastier shot out of the two, in my opinion, considering I'm the one going to be taking it. And cheeky little bump there from for Ketsu into the Baron. Don't like it at all. But we've got a lot of start of engagement shenanigans here, so once Vader moves up anyway, so obviously we've got 000 basically pointing at a ship and saying, right, take a stress or I take a calculate. Then we've obviously got Ketsu's ability, which will trigger as well, so we've got a few fun things in the tank for the Scum. Unfortunately, Merrick's still not able to get a target lock there because I am still on the gas cloud, and we made a slight mistake the other day. We mentioned if you are ioned, you can't be target locked. That's not quite right. If you are ioned, you lose target locks, but you can be locked after. However, when you're on a gas cloud, you cannot be locked whilst you're on a gas cloud. So that's actually going to save me quite nicely there from Vader and Merrick Steele. They're not going to get their advanced targeted computers on there as well. So whilst Bossk has 4 ships facing him right now, the potential to survive is still there. So Merrick is the only one within range 1, so he's going to be the target for 000. Taking the stress so I don't get the calculate. Probably not a bad shout. And here comes the tractor ability, and the turret arc is in the forward arc on there. I know you can't see it under such a large ship, but going to move the Baron over so he's no longer at range 0, giving him a slightly... Actually, I think we might have just moved it. So he's got no shot on Ketsu, but I think we might have moved him just out of range 1 of Lumb, so that's still not going to be bad. And Lumb will be I3 this round. So a lot of shenanigans before we even start rolling the dice there. Quite typical Scum shenanigans, in all honesty, there, and I'm all for it. But here's Vader going into Bossk. Nothing happening there, unfortunately. Ketsu now going into the Baron. This is a perfect opportunity to try and get a lot of damage through, but those are some poor dice. So just 2, but Fearless should be triggering as well. Oh no, not in the forward arc, so Fearless will not trigger. So Lone Wolf, and then the focus. No damage on the Baron, but no focus either for the Baron shot, so again, reducing the agility, you've still got to get through it though, and that did not happen there. But Merrick has now got his range 1 shot, rocket shot into Bossk. This could be painful. Spending that focus. 4 hits, so that is definitely shields down there. So should be shields down and 1. Ooh, 2 damage. So we already lost shields. So down to 7 hull on Bossk. 2 ships still facing him. It's not out of the realms of possibility that Bossk will go down. He could survive, but we shall see. But it is a Proton Cannon from Cad Bane now into Lieutenant Sai. We have Marksmanship. We've got the lock. This is a good time for it. And that's 3 hits. Spending the lock, want all 4. Get the 4th, so that will be Marksmanship and the Proton Cannon. Crit, obviously not going to affect the shields there, but it is all 4 shields down. Obviously, it would have been really nice to have got a crit in there, but with the shields, wasn't going to happen. No bullseye for Lumb though, so just trying to check that range there. I'm trying to check range between Alpha and Psi. Just remember, if you are marking up ships, try not to move the marker before you put the ship back. Done that a few times. So going into Psi here, that is a hit crit. All going through. And the crit is a weapons failure, so that is going to be good for Bossk. It would be a very unfortunate series of events to take Bossk out now. He should be okay. With red dice like that, definitely okay there. So range 2 on both Nomlum and Cad Bane. Looks like going for Cad, just the 1. And it's evaded. So this is definitely a much better turn for myself here. Bossk, no shot because he is on the obstacle. But we've got Alpha going for it. So hit crit. Ooh, gets an evade. And that crit is a panicked pilot. So there are a lot of red tokens on Bossk right now. But that is turn 2 done. Going into the scoring, it is 2 points apiece between us there. So not bad scoring overall there. So I managed to get top left. Ned got top right and the center objective by having the Lambda and Alpha there. And Shadowcaster Ketsu was just in range to steal that bottom right hand one from Ned. So going into turn 3, the points are even, but the damage is starting to be spread. So Sai has taken a lot of damage at this point, and Bossk is also in a fair amount of trouble. Here comes the Mandalorian Optics to grab a target lock on the Baron. The initiative is once again in my favor. It's going to be really tricky though in that top section there. We've got a lot of ships wanting to occupy a very small amount of space, especially with Bossk being ionized. He's not going to have a lot of space to move. That could be tricky for Merrick, could be tricky for everyone up there. Alpha really capitalizing on being I1 and being able to just get in there and just be a nuisance. And the Baron just looking to be going for the objective there and trying to stay as far away from Ketsu as humanly possible. Now let's see, where is... Ooh, Sai is turning in big. Gonna have to set up some train tracks here so that we can actually see where he's going to end up. The addition of that rear arc though is going to help here, because while he can take a nice range one shot onto Lumb, I'm pretty sure the temptation to get some shots back into Bossk is going to be quite nice. Obviously, train tracks with such a large base ship, a little bit awkward, but we got there in the end. TTS obviously just doing it for you is a massive advantage, but you still can't beat just actually having your ships on the table. And we're hoping to get more of that in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, whilst we wait to see the rest of the moves here, guys, just want to remind you, if you do like what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below, and we'd like to say a very big thank you to our latest Patreon supporter, Clay, who joined up recently. Thank you very much, Clay. We do really appreciate your support. It helps us to bring more content to the channel, as well as keeping the equipment up to date so that we can do some new and exciting projects in the future. So thank you very much, Clay, for joining. And if you want to join the Patreon, the link is in the description below. But Ketsu just taking the long way round there, unfortunately. So taking that stress from the bump earlier does mean no K-turn there. Although she did have the Contraband Cybernetics, but probably not wanting to end up double stressing herself. Now, we've obviously, as I said, had several bumps this round. Let's see if Merrick Steele can make it through. And so that is obviously a big bump there, just making sure that it lines up on the template. Unfortunately, that is on to the gas clouds, so Merrick Steele is strained and ioned. So less than ideal there for Merrick. Looking at the move, not entirely sure. I'm assuming that Ned didn't think that Merrick was going to land on the obstacle. Maybe that Bossk was going to try and do a bank maneuver to get past there, but at the moment it's very tricky positioning. Vader, on the other hand, is going to be doing a 3. You'd anticipate that that is a 3 hard, and obviously with this, doing it the sideways one, so you don't have to mark up. But let's see. No, it is actually the 3 Talon there from Vader, which had Bossk been able to move, that would have been absolutely brilliant, but using that sideways method to get it into the right place, then using obviously a 1-speed template to decide forward, back, or middle, possibly has arc on Bossk there. We will have to see. I think at the moment there's only 3 ships that have arc on Bossk, with Psy, Alpha Squadron, and possibly Vader. So could still be losing Bossk at this point, but we will have to wait and see. Checking for debris gambit there to get that evade. Not a bad shout. Was using pattern analyzers to be able to actually take the action, and debris gambit giving Vader the white evade because he's at range 1 of an obstacle there. But we're going to go into the shooting. Let's see if any ships are removed from the table this round. We've obviously got a very hurting Psy, a fairly damaged Bossk, so 000 onto Alpha, not wanting to give me a calculate. Very rude, but the Interceptor has a great dial to get rid of red tokens anyway. And looks like Lumb is going to pop himself up to an I6 there, because Vader. And we have a Proton Cannon going into... yeah, Proton Cannon into Alpha Squadron. So Proton Cannon turns to a crit. Marksmanship turns to a crit. And that is a crit going through on the Alpha Squadron pilot there. Can't use that evade token due to the dead to rights ability. And the crit is disabled power regulator. So we're going to have a lot of iron ships next turn. Vader scoring 3 hits into Bossk. This is not looking good for Bossk right now. Double tapping with Alpha and Lambda could be enough to take Bossk out now. And I believe Bossk might still actually be on the obstacle as well. It's hard to see from this angle, but we're moving down to CAD. Who is a hit crit there. On to Psy. And the crit is console fire. Oh, that could be a nasty one. And it is a nasty one. It has caused damage onto Psy there, so Psy is now down to 1 hull. We will update that on the overlay very shortly. That's not a bad shot back. That's 1 more on to Bossk. Bossk down to 2. And evidently Bossk has no shots, so moving back down to Alpha Squadron, who is actually in range 0, so only gets 3 dice, and it was a poor roll, unfortunately, for Alpha, and Bossk survived the round. The plucky YV666 that could. So, scoring there, I'm going to grab just the 1 point. Ned has 2 more points to put him ahead in the scoring going into turn 4. But again, we have 2 large base ships in a rather sticky situation right here. 2 ionized small base ships and Ketsu, Onyo and a Baron of the Empire who are moving away from the fight. So it's going to be really interesting to see when those 2 can get back into the fight and where these ships are going to be going. So Alpha Squadron, we'll have to wait a little bit because I do once again have the initiative. Rogue from Lumb. Lumb just doing it too hard to get out of there for the time being. Quite possibly clearing space for Bane. And taking that token back, so it's just going to be a 1 bank from Alpha Squadron. Is he going to get out of the way so that Bossk can actually move? So it looks promising. Disable power regulator, never one you want to see on your fast ships like the Interceptors or your A-Wings. And just the 1 hard from the Baron there. Evidently he is going for keeping hold of that objective. And Psy just jumping right over there. Looks like he's going to still keep just in range of that central objective. So if he is still around at the end of the turn, that's going to be quite handy. That's pretty much 2 points possibly guaranteed there if Vader comes around as well. But let's have a look. See what Bane is doing. It's a Cater. Contraband Cybernetics has been flipped as well, so what will we see action-wise? Not sure if the bullseye is on at the moment. I mean, if the bullseye was on, that would be fantastic. But let's have a quick look. Oh, he's going to push forward a little bit, possibly to try and block Vader. So a lot of tokens there for CAD. And always forgetting that Bossk also has to move. He's trying to go big. Bossk has obviously got those stress, so That is not a stress reliever move from Bossk. Does bump once again into the Alpha Squadron. Now Ketsu gets a chance to come round. Just getting out of arc of the Lambda as well, so no shots towards Ketsu this turn. Ketsu being quite a big piece in this list. She is, alongside Bossk, the most expensive on my side. 2 6s and 2 4s. Bit more of a spread on Ned's side. Obviously, you've got Vader at a 6, Merrick and Sai at 4s, Baron and Alpha at 3 points each. And the Ion move looks like the Ion move bumps into Vader, unfortunately, so potential for some damage there, but it does give Merrick some nice shooting opportunities there. He's got both the rogues in arc. Oh, but does take a damage there from the bump. Now let's see, where was Vader trying to go? Not very far, it would appear. I would hesitate to say there's been more bumps in this game than there has in possibly the previous 3 games. We've had a lot of bumping. Bossk and Alpha Squadron have just really got in the way of everyone and just put everyone out of position. It's just causing a little bit of chaos there. I wouldn't be surprised if we see... I don't think Merrick's got Bossk in arc, so the only shots possibly going towards him are from Sai. I would anticipate Merrick and Vader are going to be going into Cad Bane to try and take him out to stop threatening Lieutenant Sai there. But there's no advanced targeted computer, there's no modifications for Vader on attack. It's going to be difficult. There'll be 2v2 and 3v2. So a good set of crits could do it, but let's have a quick look. We talk about good crit, that's double crit there into Cad Bane. Let's see what those evade dice say. Just the shield. Oh, that could have been risky. So yeah, just the shield off of Cad there. That is very fortunate. Definitely wanted to try and keep hold of that focus. Want as much possibility going inside to try and take him off the board, because whilst he's only 4 points, he is still... If he's still alive at the end of the turn, he is securing that middle objective and contesting the bottom right. So no shot from Ketsu. Double crits again. Sorry, triple crits from Merrick into Cat. Wow. 5 crits in 5 dice. That is insane. So, doing Merrick still here, drawing 3 cards, going to flip them over. Ned is going to pick the one that he thinks is the most egregious for Cad, and it has meant that that focus is spent. So can't see what the other 2 are, but it looks like we've got a whole breach on Cad Bane, so not a bad one to get there. Everything now is face up, so that is going to really help to get rid of Cad Bane in some later shooting. So a reminder there, obviously Merrick Steele's ability, while you perform an attack, if the defender would be dealt a face-up damage card, instead draw 3 damage cards, choose one, and discard the rest. With a hull breach, that could potentially trigger that as well. Oh, would have been nice to have that focus there. But double crit going into Psy. Psy is down. That's very big. As I said, that's actually, while Psy is only 4 points, that's actually a 6-point swing there, because Psy and Vader would have nabbed that central objective from me, and looking at the position, I think Psy would have been contesting that bottom right, so that is actually a 6-point swing there in my favour. That is... it's incredible for me. And also it means that Psy is not going to have a chance to take some shots into Merrick. And Ned, being the absolute gent that he is just reminding me of Cad Bane's ability. After you perform an attack that hits, you may spend 2 charges to transfer one of your non-lock red or orange tokens to the defender. So getting rid of one of my multiple stress tokens there, which is nice. So thank you very much for reminding me on that one, Ned. Bossk taking a range 0 shot at the Alpha. It's got the green token. And a pretty quick shooting phase there. Nothing for Baron, nothing for Alpha, nothing for Lumb. So, time to tot up the scores and back to dials. So, looking at it, just going through there. So that was 2 points for Ned, with Merrick and the Baron taking those left-hand ones, and all down through the middle I managed to get the other 3. So we've gone from 3 to 4 to 10 to 6. It is a big change of points there. Obviously, as I said, Bossk is still only 2 hull away from going down. He is a 6-point ship, so there are a lot of points that can be nabbed there if Ned can take down Bossk and suffer no consequences. He's got to be careful though, because we do have Deadman switch on board. In fact, both of the large base ships have Deadman switch on it, which is always so much fun. And also Ned actually got initiative this turn, which is the first turn of the game he's managed to get that, so allowing him to move some of his ships first and see if he can get some good positions there. It's only really the Alpha that's... I don't think any of these ships that are actually of the similar initiative are actually really that close to each other, so... But Lumb now having to try and predict where the Baron will go, see if he wants to chase him down for a little bit. And see if he's gesturing at this side of the screen there. So again, that is my debate. Will the Baron go left? Will the Baron go right? Where do I sit myself? And focus it is. And the Baron went ship left, back to the middle of the board. Could boost around to get out of arc there, possibly. And then see if he can catch Ketsu. Yep, there we go. There is the boost. Focus boost there, kicking himself. Looks like out of arc of Lumb. And good position there as well. No chance for Cad Bane to get a shot, but gives him a chance to reload his Proton Cannons a bit more. And yet another bump for Bossk. I think that's got to be 4 turns in a row now that Bossk has bumped into Alpha Squadron, so might actually have to just cut up an Interceptor and model it into the ship at this point. But Merrick finally getting a chance to actually clear that space there. Ooh, looking for the barrel roll. That is going to be very tight there. Unfortunately, my arm is a little bit in the way there for the camera, but we're moving the tokens out of the way, so a little less aggressively there, Phil. That clears. That is so very close there. That's going to be quite scary. Now Cad has got Americ Steel coming round the back. But Ketsu is swooping in to try and save the day. Again, it's so nice to see these large base ships on the board, and Vader hit, or did Vader did land on the obstacle there? I know that feeling. I've definitely dropped Vader on some obstacles before, and it's not fun. But I think the only saving grace here for me is that there are no target locks from Merrick Steel. Lumb will be an I3 for this, and I believe he actually just had arc there. Bossk doing 000 things. Alpha once again taking the stress. Tractoring the Baron. Could barrel roll him down and see if I can get him actually out of range 1 and into arc of Cad, closer to... Oh, that's a lovely trigger of Ketsu's ability with the Shadowcaster, tractor beaming the Baron closer to Cad Bane, so Cad Bane now actually has a shot, and I believe, as we saw, there should be a shot there from Lumb, but it's going to be Merrick to shoot first. Oh, it's a big hit. And that is a hit crit going through. Now, we may have read this slightly wrong on the night, because I didn't, again, always check the cards. But obviously it says why you perform an attack if the defender would be dealt a face-up damage card, which would be from Hull Breach. So in theory, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you guys are brilliant for doing this, would we have had to do Merrick Steele's ability twice? Or do you only do it on the crit that he actually put through, which we've got a panic pilot and a stunned pilot on Cad now. So let us know in the comments, should we have drawn 3 for each crit that was suffered? Or is it just for the crit that, or do you only do it once because it only triggers once, or is it just because of the crit that Merrick actually scored? Let us know in the comments, because we would like to know. Big debate. Vader or Baron? Going back and looking at this in 2020 in hindsight, I would say Baron. Yeah, looks like we're going Baron. We've got 3 potential shots there. He's tracted. So 3 hits, Tiger Lock not coming in. But got Fearless. This is where, looking at the cards, got Fearless, so that does come back. So 4 hits there on the Baron, so definitely 2 shields down. Oh, lovely evades there from Ned, so only 2 shields down on to the Baron there. Goes down to Bossk next to shoot against Alpha. 2 hits. Ooh, we get 1 through. Alpha Squadron is down to 1 hull. So their little dance up there does continue. CAD going into the Baron. Not enough there. No, we have just skipped the Baron, so we'll come back to him in a moment. But the Baron is down to 1. That... yeah, so it should have been the Baron to shoot first there. No focuses on the attack, so that actually is okay. So that is a shield off Ketsu. So Ned has initiative, Baron should have shot, potentially could have affected the outcome there, but 2 crits and a blank, so no chance to spend the focus. Bossk does go down here now. Deadman switch triggers. Alpha Squadron also goes down, so some points shared there. But yeah, just going back to the Baron, we got the wrong order there. Doesn't actually affect the state of board, so that is fine. But that was big with Alpha taking out Bossk, scoring Ned 6 points. Bossk blowing up with Deadman, scoring 3 points for Alpha. In the turn, it's then 1 objective point for Ned, 2 more for myself, 15 to 13. Dials had gone down, so this will be the final round. And at this point, it's anyone's game. There's only 2 points in it, but we've got some hurting ships. Baron is on 1 hull. There's 3 points there. CAD is on 2. There's 4 points there. So if Merrick, Vader, and the Baron can concentrate on CAD and not go down, there is some good scoring potential there. Nominal, I'm just securing that objective over there. There we go, there's Ned's Empire Imperial Officer hat there on full display. Nice 1 hard from the Baron there, boosting, securing that objective and potentially being out of the way to not be shot at. And taking the coward's way out. Clearing the stress, barrel rolling, just trying to get as far away as possible, seeing where Merrick could potentially go. wounded pilot earlier, by the way, not stun pilot. Wounded pilot getting another stress on there, so finally clears the stress just to gain them both back again. So it's kind of up to Ketsu now to block Merrick Steele. Contraband Cybernetics have been flipped, so we're getting the 5k turn. Misses the obstacle as well. Brilliant flying, if I do say so myself. Now to see where Merrick Steele ends up. And it's another bump for Merrick Steele. So many bumps in this game. Does he end up on the obstacle? We are train tracking it up just to be 100% sure, because this is important. If Merrick's on the obstacle, there is no shot into CAD there from Merrick. And Merrick has landed on the obstacle once again and takes 2 damage for his troubles. If Ketsu hadn't been there, I think Merrick would have landed that. It would have been absolutely fine. That back end would have swung out a little bit more, and he would have been absolutely fine there. And Vader 1 forward. Vader most likely about to get tracted by Ketsu. He's spending a force to focus and target lock there. So no 000 this time because Bossk is off, but Ketsu is going to, in all honesty, most likely use her ability onto Vader. Although at the same time, whilst moving Vader to see if you can get Vader out of range of CAD is going to be handy. The Fearless range 1 combo. Vader's got too much health for that to be too much of an issue, but the Fearless range 1 combo would have been quite nice as well. But just moving Vader down, still got the shot, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. But 1 less agility for when being shot at if we go for that target. Oh, that is nice from Vader. 2 hits and a crit. This could do CAD in. Just the 1 crit going through though, and it is a fuel leak. That's unfortunate there. That's going to leave it game for me there, unfortunately. I think Ned is going to score 2 points on objectives there. I'm going to score 1. So nothing Ned can do to win. It's going to be a 1-point game in the end. But all comes down to, will Merrick Steele or the Baron live at the end of this? Where does my final shot go in? Obviously, I can use modifications against Baron, so yeah, we're going for the Baron. Let's see what happens. 3 hits going in. 3 evades. Well, 2 evades and a focus. Well done, Ned. Keeping the Baron alive right at the last there. So, again, just to tot up those final scores, I get that bottom left objective. Ned gets the middle and right objective, which is hidden under the Baron. That game is going to end 16 points to 15 in my favour there, but that was a really fun game with Ned, in all honesty. Whilst there was a lot of effort with the bumping, it was, you know what, you don't get that very often, and it was interesting to see that. So a very good fun game there with Ned, as always. So just want to say a big thank you to Ned for joining me in store and having an absolute blast. But guys, again, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. We've got plenty more stuff coming up in the near future, so please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.